welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content, if you find it useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. In a few moments, we're going to be talking about what are asexual views on love. And this is all because it's Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month this month. Yes, celebrating our asexual diversity across the asexual spectrum and our differences within it. And I'll be reading from this book, which is Asexual Perspectives book. This is a month, Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, like I said, to celebrate our diversity across the spectrum. And I founded that in 2017 when I first published this book. So I'm going to be reading excerpts from some of the stories in this book about views on love. So we're going to go straight away and we're going to go to Adelaide's story. So Adelaide, story is very, very, very interesting. Interesting, no? And I'm just trying to find where, oh, their love, that is. I feel like having this French accent, no? So what's your view on love? Have you been in love before? Adelaide, I love my mum. I love my horse. I love my friends. As an aromantic asexual, I have never felt romantic love, but that is not the only kind of love in the world, and it is not the only one that is worth something. And I think that's really important, you know, especially as a lot of aromantic asexuals, those that lack romantic attraction as well as sexual attraction, you know, they do tend to get a bit fed up sometimes with romantic love. Not all of them do, some of them do. And it's kind of like, you know, will you stop talking about love always being in terms of romance? Because clearly it's not, you know, people love in different types of ways. And it's very similar to a lot of sexuals when they just say, oh, you know, they basically, a lot of them believe that love and sex are the same thing or have to go hand in hand, which they don't. And love doesn't have to be of a romantic nature. It can take many, many different shapes and forms. And romance, like everything, is very, very subjective, you know. What's romantic to me might not be romantic to someone else. So, you know, like I said, what is a love feeling to someone might be a different type of thing to someone else. This is why some people can fall in love with someone and then not reciprocate because they don't feel the same love back. This proves that we do actually love in different ways, and we can love people even if they don't love us back as well. So it's really, really interesting topic, I think. So that was Adelaide's view on the matter from Asexual Perspectives. Now I'm going to go over to Callie's story. Now what's interesting about Callie is actually on the aromantic spectrum again, so they lack romantic attraction as well as sexual attraction. They're an aromantic asexual, but they're technically a cupiaromantic. So if you've never ever heard of what a cupiaromantic is, it's someone on the aromantic spectrum, but it's basically someone who doesn't experience any romantic attraction whatsoever, but they strongly desire to be in a romantic relationship. So it's very, very unusual, but I've known of quite a few cupiaromantics. Now, some time ago, there was people in the asexual community that were set, or, you know, further afield, that were saying cupiaromantics weren't real, they don't really exist, they're not valid. And I'm here to tell you that every sexuality is valid. Everyone is valid. We're all valid in and of our own right. No one has the right to judge and tell a person you can't be that. That's not right, okay? So cupiaromantics, I've known quite a number of them. And, you know, I've started talking to one on ASAP actually as well. So a cupiaromantic strongly desires a romantic relationship despite not experiencing any romantic attraction. It's just like some asexuals will have sex with sexuals even though they don't experience sexual attraction. So anyway, Callie's story, very, very interesting considering they are actually on the aromantic spectrum, but they desire a romantic relationship. Look at the difference between the last person, who is an aromantic with no romantic inclination, and this person. What's your view on love, Callie? I've never been in love before, but I think it's one of the most beautiful things in the world. Love, pure love, is a precious gift and deserves to be sheltered in a relationship that all involved parties work to protect. So this person obviously associates love with being in a relationship, even though they aren't actually experiencing romantic attraction, whereas the other aromantic, asexual, who's a pure aromantic, if you like, they talk about other forms of love outside of a relationship being just as important, which they are. So I think this is very, very interesting to see the different contrasts, because this is why I say we celebrate our asexual diversity across the spectrum. You know, no person should be left out. No person should be feeling like they're not valid. Everyone's valid in and of their own right. You know, that's what love is about. You know, the asexual community in general is amazing, but there are certain parts of the community that seem to be, you know, saying someone's not valid if they're a certain orientation when we're in a minority ourselves, may I remind you. You know, so it doesn't matter what part of the spectrum you fall on or what sexuality you are in the world, you're still valid, right? You're still valid. Everyone has their own personal preferences for what they like and what they don't like. And every type of attraction really is basically subjective to how the person feels about it and how the person thinks about it. So we must remember this. Right. Okay. So this is Isadora. Hello, Isadora. So what's Isadora's view on love from asexual perspectives? I'm reading it out. I'm aromantic, another person who's aromantic. So I've never quite understood love in a romantic sense. I believe in love wholeheartedly, laugh out loud. And I love my husband, my family, my friends, but I've never fallen in love and had romantic affairs. As a child, I remember listening to songs about love on the radio. My parents both listened to country music and thinking that love between adults sounded like hell on earth. I couldn't fathom why anyone would want to subject themselves. I still feel the same way, but now I understand that a lot of people enjoy the emotion and turmoil it can bring. I just feel relieved that I don't. So this person, you might have noticed, said they've got a husband. So another myth and stereotype that I really want to make sure is definitely busted, that I bust through in this book and that I've also busted through before, is the fact that there seems to be this stereotype, whereas, you know, everyone thinks that all aromantic asexuals, those that lack romantic attraction as well as sexual attraction, don't want a relationship. And some people don't understand that they would. They are just as much entitled to a relationship as anyone else, you know? And just like we shouldn't keep expecting as a society for those in relationships to be having sex, we shouldn't expect that everyone in a relationship is necessarily going to be romantic as well. Do you see what I mean? It's up to the individuals in the relationship if they want to be in it or not and how that's going to work. So, you know, this person is aromantic and they have got a husband. And what is even more interesting is my husband is allosexual, but he has asked me about asexuality and he understands to a certain extent how I feel. As I am sex positive, we do negotiate times to have sex. He will let me know in advance that he's interested, and unless I'm really not feeling up to it, I'll have sex with him. Works out well for us in that he gets to have the sex he wants while my boundaries are respected. That's what I mean, you know, just because you're asexual doesn't mean to say that you can't have sex or that you're not going to or don't want to. Just that a lot of asexuals don't. A lot of asexuals aren't interested in that. But, you know, there's no right or wrong way to be asexual. You know, some asexuals will have sex if they're in a relationship with a sexual person. Do you know what I mean? Others won't. And either is perfectly valid and fine. You know, no asexual should be forced or pushed or coerced into having sex, or made to feel bad if they don't with an allosexual. That should never ever happen. But for the asexuals that don't mind having sex, if they want to have it, then that's up to them, you know? So I thought, seeing as we're talking about asexual perspectives, that I would read a bit of my own personal story out, because I don't usually read my own personal story very much from this book. And my personal story goes on quite a bit, so I never really give a quick answer to much. But I thought it'd be interesting to just take a look at this topic, seeing as I'm quite different. What's your view on love, Sandra? I've been in love many times before of varying degrees. This is me. It's going to seem really strange reading this. Sometimes it hasn't always been a healthy love for me. And now I'm waiting for the right person and happy to be single forever until I meet the right guy. Sometimes I feel a little sad for myself in a self-love way, that I've not met the right person who's worthy of my love. Someone who wants to be my very bestest ever friend, my soulmate and love of my life, who is faithful and kind and expects nothing more from me than love, friendship and support, not based on money or housework or shared household stuff. I have always wanted someone to like my looks, but my personality more than anything. I know that until I find a guy compatible with me, with my personality, sorry, try and read my own words from a book. I know until I find a guy compatible with my personality or who adores me for it, that I will stay single for my own good. I love my life and I like my personality and never get bored of being with me. I am my best friend and I am a best friend to myself and have learnt to love myself so much. I am far too quirky and different to be normal and boring, and I love it that way. One of the things I find extremely difficult is being a hyper-romantic and not experiencing platonic attraction, which I've mentioned several times on this channel before. This means I often automatically skip the platonic friendship stage and can fall in love at the drop of a hat very easily, to the point of annoyance, because it detracts me from and takes my focus off my work and what I am doing. So I can fall in love or get feelings over a few text or Facebook messages, or from a few messages and a Skype session. I am not saying it's a full-blown deep love, as the more you know someone, the more you can fall in love with them, because the stronger the emotional connection bond you form. I am just saying the love is very real, and hardly anyone in the world seems to understand this concept or accepts it. I have been training my brain to not fall in love at the drop of a hat. And sometimes I do better with this than at other times, depending on who I am talking to. But because I can still develop feelings of love or something very close to it at the drop of a hat, it's tough. I agree, it seems absurd, but put it this way, when it happens, it's like having my heart ripped out of me time and time again. This is how very real it is to me. I cry, feel pain, and then I have to realise this will pass, although it feels like it won't and can go on for months. And I know to an outsider, this may seem stupid or unbelievable, but nevertheless, this is very real for me. Now, I have to say that I have improved on this, because I don't tend to fall in love at the drop of a hat anymore, but I can still get some feelings quickly for some guys. And I don't experience platonic attraction, so I always get some sort of feelings for guys who are foreign usually. You know, so I can control the feelings more. Like, I don't tend to fall in love now, but I can still very easily, but I can still feel romantic feelings very, very, you know, quickly of some nature, very, very quickly, you know. And I can experience attraction for my friends in different ways. So, I'm still hyper romantic. I still don't experience platonic attraction. Don't experience sexual attraction. I experience multiple other attractions. So it can be difficult, but I feel a lot stronger in myself with that than I used to. There are certain people I just can't continue to talk to if I've got strong feelings. Predominantly, that's usually an Indian guy, because, as you know, I really am attracted to Indian guys. They're my top attraction, and I would love to be with one day in a relationship if the right one came along. So usually, if I've got any kind of hyper romanticism and more feelings towards the love type of variety, it's normally for Indian guys. So, if I know that the guy is no way gonna ever be able to come over here and I have strong romantic feelings for him very quickly, then I will cut off because it's for my own good, like I said there. So, whilst a lot of things haven't changed, I have been able to manage my hyper romanticism a lot better. Currently on ASAP, like I've got about 4 different people talking to me, which is really nice. One of whom is Indian, believe it or not. He's older than I usually go for. So at the moment, that's why I'm able to still talk to him, because I'm not so attracted to guys who are older. He's 30. I'm usually attracted to like 24-year-olds. But I have to share something with you. Something that happened in my dream, the last stream I had, because you might have noticed I'm a bit late with my stream tonight. And that's because I've literally been working like 13 hours non-stop since I got up. Like 10:45 to like 11:45, like quarter to midnight. I think I've done my whole week's work in one day. And anyway, so last night, which would now, well, it would be last night because I didn't go to bed till the early hours of Wednesday anyway, because it's now Thursday. I had this most amazing dream. Now, I don't usually have amazing dreams. I usually have nightmares. So it was just really, really, really incredible. I have never felt this before in a dream, right? It was just mind-blowing. So I watched a video, a spirituality video from a guy I follow on YouTube, and he was talking about relationships and saying don't chase love, because when you chase something, it always tends to go away. And I was actually in a bit of pain last night before I went to bed. Had some pelvic pain come back again. So I've been careful to manage that today with what I eat, because I've got such a sensitive tummy that I think some of the pelvic pain there might have been food I've been eating. And it's been much better since I've been awake doing all my work. And so anyway, I had this cup of herbal tea because I thought, it's going to be nice to actually, soothe me, hopefully soothe my tummy, put a hot water bottle there, and because it was kind of like not just my pelvis, kind of like my tummy area. And well, I think it was more my tummy than my pelvis, actually, maybe. But anyway, there was some pain down there. And so, I thought, I'll just go and think about love and stuff before I went to sleep. And, because I would like to be loved back, because I know from another spiritual coach, they said that if you're trying to think of your soulmate as if you're with them already, you should be thinking about them giving you love, not you just giving them love. And in the past, it's been too painful to think about a soulmate, so I've just got on with my life, because I realized that I didn't experience the love back. It was me giving it in kind of what I visioned, which is not good. I mean, when I say always, like there was one dream I had where I was with an Indian guy and he was talking to me on my bed and we were holding hands, but again, I still felt that was like more me giving out the love, if you know what I mean. So this dream was quite, interesting. And I was back in a retail job, and it was like a really old-fashioned department store. It had about 3 floors, I think. And there was this table, like a bench, and I can remember my dreams really well. And there's a bench with like loads of girls on it. And there was this young guy who I worked with, but I couldn't see his face completely. Or I know he had really short, like dark hair, like an Indian guy's hair. And at one point, I remember seeing his top off, and he was skinny, but very beautiful. And I remember thinking he looks about 19 years old, which is not the age I usually go for, right? It's usually 21 and upwards. But what was incredible about this guy is when I was around him, when we were together, I could feel that he loved me. It was like a tower inferno of this most beautiful, amazing love I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I just felt his love, like without him even touching me, just being around me. It was like he was exuding this furnace, this tower inferno of love, and for me. And I'm like, whoa. And then I could feel I was doing that back. And it was like a radiator at the most highest temperature possible, melting my heart. And it was just really, really strange, but beautiful. It was incredible. And I'm like, this is the best dream I've had for like probably all my life or something. It's just amazing. I've never ever felt that much love in all my life. And I was just like, wow, this is incredible. And as the dream progressed, I was in the room with this guy, and this room caught a light, like it was on fire, like just like I felt like the love he was giving me was like a furnace, as in like hypothetically, as in an analogy, right? Because I could feel it. The actual room we ended up being in ended up being on fire. The whole windows ended up being on fire. And so the room, like there was a big window there, like a big, well, I was like here, he was there, and it's like a square room. So the two windows there were on fire. There's just one door to get out. And it was like, the fire was just like, oh my God, what do we do? And luckily the one door we could go through led to being safe because there wasn't actually fire there. And so we both went out, we both like worked as a team to get out together, and we both like looked after each other, and we both got out. And then I just remember thinking, but he's about 19 years old. Like, he's really, really young. I don't know if he was 19. I don't know his age. But I'm like, he's really, really young. I didn't expect someone to love me to be that young. He's really, really young. Like, he's only 19. I thought he was. And I'm like, but he's so young. I'm like, but yeah, he loves you, Sandra, even though he's so young. And then I kind of woke up then, thinking, he's a lot younger than I expected. And I kind of like, I don't know what to do about that. Like, well, it wasn't like I didn't know what to do, because it was like, well, he loves me, I love him, regardless of age. But it's just like, he's only 19. I mean, I don't know he was, but I just felt he was. And I'm like, I couldn't even actually see his face, so I don't know if he was Indian. He might have been. His body didn't look very, very coloured. Maybe slightly tanned. More white than dark, but slightly tanned maybe. So I don't know. I couldn't see his. I could see his hair, and I could see his thin, beautiful body. But, well, I say beautiful chest. I'm not interested in the genitals. But I couldn't. I'm like thin guys, but I couldn't see the rest of his face. I just feel him. And this love he had for me, which was like incredible. And the fact that the girls were on the bench talking, just knew that it didn't matter, they were there, because I was in complete security, 100%, that he loved me and no other woman, just me. Oh yes, this weird thing happened. Sorry, I will backtrack, because obviously this weird thing happened. Like, it was a very strange moment. Yeah, he was at one point in the dream, he was sat down. And I don't know if he had some mental health difficulties or special needs, more like special needs. And he was drinking something or doing something, and something went wrong. Like, he freaked out and he went like this. And like there was all sweat pouring off him, like down his mouth or something. It was like he was kind of like having this sweat convulsion or something. It's really weird. And I really felt for him. I'm like, oh my God, I hope he's okay. But I think that was before what happened with the fire, as far as I know. That was when they were sat at the bed. That was when the girls were sat on the bench and he was sat somewhere, I think. And then but I just felt that when he was actually around me, he was really interested in his retail job. He was really good at it. He was really into it. He wanted to do the best he could in the work, because the dream went on for a little while before the end of the fire in it. And I remember that he really liked his job. He really tried to give it his all despite his age. And he was really quite mature in that way. And he really wanted to like make customers happy, give them excellent customer service. and just really, really like I could feel that he totally loved me. It's just bizarre. But I don't think I was in a relationship with him. I can't work out. It's it's like I loved him, he loved me, but we weren't actually in a relationship, I don't think. But I don't know. I never quite worked out where I don't think, because all I remember thinking is he's Sandra, he's only 19. And it was kind of like startled me. It's like, because I wouldn't usually be with a 19-year-old, it's too young. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I kept thinking, but he's 19. I think I woke up in shock. I'm like, I didn't expect him to be that young. Like, you completely shocked me. It was almost like, I don't know if that's going to end up being reality one day. I'm like, because he was so young. Mind you, that guy I told you I met on the tube once, you know, where I was the speaker at the UK Asexual conference in 2018. I think the guy was a bit similar to him. Because like, he looked really young as well. And he really was into me. He was like protecting me on the tube and like stood off the tube to let me out. He didn't need to. There wasn't that many people on. Not enough for him to needed to walk out. And he was really protective of me. And he looked really young as well. So I don't know. The dream was, but the most weird part of the dream, which you might have thought a lot of it was weird, the most weird part of the dream was the fact that this kind of like melting sweat thing, because he was going blah, 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 like this. It was very weird. It's like he was panicking, might have had a panic attack or something. I don't know. So anyway, it was quite bizarre. But, you know, the whole point is that it was just beautiful to feel that love and have it in a dream. It's just amazing. It's one of the most incredible experiences of my life, and it was in a dream. I usually dream rubbish, not good stuff. So it just felt amazing. Like to have that, whether I don't, you know, like just to feel that. It was just like I could feel it all throughout my body. This person just completely loves me from head to toe and everywhere in between. No, I didn't mean that naughtily. So I just it's beautiful, you know, and I do think love is very beautiful, you know, whether I end up in a relationship or I don't, I'm still happy for anyone who is in a relationship and who experiences love and who is with someone who loves them, whether that's a friend, whether that's a platonic relationship, whether that's the romantic relationship of their dreams. I really am a true hyper romantic. I absolutely love romance. Like today, I was listening to music for like, I think it was like whilst I was doing my 13 hours of work, I was listening to music, and this channel had been live streaming music for over 12 hours when I finished. But I mean, I started listening to them a bit later because I had already been listening to other music for a couple of hours, I think. So yeah, it was and then I realized that it was romantic music. I've been listening to Spanish romantic music. I was listening to like different Latin music, and then I ended up clicking on one of these videos, and it ended up being like romantic stuff, which I didn't really do that on purpose. It ended up just being like the next kind of thing that was available. And then from that, I found out it was romantic. And I'm like, oh, this is quite melodic while I'm doing my work. It's quite chilled music. And then all of a sudden, later on, this live stream I saw, and that was romantic type of music, a similar type of music. So I was listening to that for hours. Because usually a lot of time this can set up my hyper-romanticism, but I don't think it's set off in a bad way. I just think, you know, it's just very beautiful music, you know. I love foreign music. I love foreign guys. When I play foreign music, I feel like I'm at home, you know. I'm sure I must have been with a foreign guy in a previous life, because I just like, you know, I'm listening to Spanish music and Latin music, and I'm just loving it, you know. I think it's so lovely music. It's like it's music that fills my soul up with peace, joy, and happiness, you know. I've had my laser lights on most of the day as well, and I've just been feeling so good. I haven't even been on social media since the early hours, so yeah, directly. So yeah, it's been an incredible day, and you know, I want everyone to experience love in their life, true love, where someone's loved for who they are, not because of how much money they've got or what they look like, or how big their car is, or, you know, how big their house is, or, you know, like materialistic stuff, or how much housework. You know, that's another thing. I don't want to be with a guy who wants me to do housework for him, because I don't like it. I hate doing housework. I only do it because I really have to, and do the minimal I can. You know, that to me is not life. It's not what I like. You know, I want to be loved for me, my personality, not because I'm someone who can do people, you know, guys cooking and cleaning and housework for him. You know? I don't want to be that type of girl. I'm not that type of girl. No. So I just know this dream I had was really incredible. It made me feel good pretty much all day. You know, to have that sort of love feeling. I've never experienced that before in the life outside of a dream now. I've never experienced that. The closest I've got to it is non-romantic love, you know, from my best friends. I get a lot of love from them, which I'm really, really happy about. You know, I can feel their love for me, which is beautiful. Beautiful, even though it's not romantic love. But in terms of like romance and love, I've never experienced anything like that before in my life. It's like, honestly, it's like a furnace of love just showering over my whole being. Absolutely magical. I'd love that to happen in real real life, this life one day. It'd be incredible. But if not, I've at least got to experience it in my dream, which was beautiful. And now I keep thinking, is this guy in my dream who I can't even see fully going to show up? I will not answer that. Who knows? And anyway, I just want to say I love you lots. And I really appreciate every one of you being here on this channel. You do make me really, really happy. And I want to thank you for tuning in tonight. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's video. If you want to say anything about love, how it feels to you, whether you're aromantic or romantic or other, please, please, please do post down below in the comments what you feel and think about love, what it means to you to be in love or to love someone. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And don't forget to share it with someone if they want to have some different perspectives about love. Be really good. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button below right here, right now. And please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. Now, later on today now, which is Thursday, I am being interviewed a Facebook Live. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stream later on. I won't be able to stream at this time because I'm doing a 1 a.m. interview. So if I'm not on here by any chance, then you know where I am. Being interviewed on a Facebook Live on my personal profile, as far as I know. It's my personal profile. So, and this woman's personal profile, which will go through to mine, I think, because I think anyone who's my follower will be able to see her, and me as well. So it'll be very interesting about asexuality, of course. So yeah, it'll be really good. I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, until next time, embrace your quirky and each other. So like I said, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and I'll see you soon on the next video live stream. Take care. Bye. Lots of love. Bye.